Classic movies. When you were a kid, did you loathe when a black and white movie came on the television? Did you immediately change the channel and find something exploding on the screen? Did you have parents that tried to school you on classic cinema? Or did you find it on your own after you grew up? When is the right age to introduce kids to classic movies? He is looking at you, kid. The timeless classic Casablanca, starring Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman. When should someone be introduced to this film? The movie was released in 1942, and the overriding themes of love lost and apathy still hold true today. Common Sense Media has an age rating of 10+ for Casablanca. I'll put a link to their review in the description below. If we are just going off violence and sex and other adult themes found in this movie, then 10 is still way too conservative for me. If we are going off kids being able to understand everything happening in the film, then my thoughts on when someone should be introduced are much higher. There is no barrier for me as far as violence, language, or alcohol use that would prevent me from letting my 11-year-old watch this movie. I would even let my 4-year-old watch Casablanca. I would highly doubt my 4-year-old would even be able to make it through the opening credits though. I think my 11-year-old can handle the content and the story, but his limited life experience could hinder his enjoyment and understanding of the film. I can explain to my son when this movie was made. Explain to him that this movie was made a year after Pearl Harbor was bombed. Many Americans, even at this time, didn't see the need for focusing on the war in Europe. A prevailing thought was that we should focus on the war with Japan since they were the ones that actually attacked us. Some even still favored a policy of isolationism. Casablanca tried to drum up support for the war in Europe. It was even funded by the War Department. They wanted a movie promoting the evils of fascism and the dangers of remaining indifferent, which Casablanca does in a fantastic way that doesn't beat you over the head with the message. Casablanca is a wonderful love story first, with the message of war support underneath. This is a lot of backstory to take in when trying to enjoy a movie. Then there's the actual plot. 2 German soldiers are killed, who are never shown on the screen, and travel documents are stolen from them. These documents allow a person to travel freely to the United States, or anywhere else. It's actually more complicated than that, but we'll leave it at this. The person who steals these documents is found out, and leaves them with Rick at his bar. Rick then has to decide to use the papers to get himself out of Casablanca with Elsa, or to let her go with Victor Laszlo. Laszlo is a Jew who has escaped from a concentration camp. He is an inspirational figure that the Nazis want to capture and bring back to Germany. What's interesting to think about here is how little the world actually knew what the Nazis were up to at this time. The world knew something was wrong with what was going on in Germany, but not to what extent. In real life, Laszlo would have been transported back to Germany, no questions asked. How does a younger kid understand all the concepts and themes going on during this film? I'm not sure they can. Then there is the fantastic love story between Rick and Elsa, which is extremely powerful. My thoughts are this. If you've never had your heart truly broken, then you might not understand Casablanca. Everyone by a certain age has gone through a breakup and has had their heart ripped out. Once you can empathize with the way Rick feels at the train station leaving Paris is when Casablanca will really hit home for you. Or at least it did for me. So with all this, when should I let my kid watch Casablanca? I think the appropriate age to understand the full weight of the film is probably anywhere from 13 to 16, depending on the individual. I still think the love story, even at this age, might not have that much of an impact, but if they have a good grasp of history and are interested in it, then I think they'll enjoy the story. Do you remember the first time you saw Casablanca? Do you even like classic films? Still find them boring? If you like classic film and you have children, when would you introduce them to these movies? Comment and let me know. So I appreciate a thumbs up on the video if you like the review. Share if you think it's worth sharing. Thanks for watching, and bye.